Today is November 4th. Today is November 11th. It's November 19th. Today is November 30th. And I am gonna make dinner. And we are walking on Natchez Trace. I have a lot of picking up to do in here. And this weekend has been one of the busiest in a long time. It's hard to film in the kitchen because we have birds, which I'm sure you can hear now. They're being unnaturally quiet, honestly, for having the lights on. I thought this would work today because I'll do a time lapse and then you won't be able to hear the birds anyway. Tonight we are making gnocchi for dinner. It's very easy. I should have started it earlier because you have to bake the potatoes first. It takes a hot minute. Pun intended. So I decided to record it normally instead of doing a time lapse, and you guys are getting a voiceover, which I have never done before. We're not going to talk much about the recipe because I messed it up royally and had to throw this batch away. This is a lesson in not changing too many variables. For some reason, I decided to boil the potatoes instead of baking them, and I did not boil them long enough. They were not soft enough to turn into a dough, and for some reason I kept trying to instead of cooking them longer. The interesting thing about doing a voiceover is that I have to watch all of the footage of what I now know are mistakes. I'll have it known that I cut 47 minutes of footage into about 4 minutes so that you didn't have to watch all of that. A good portion of it was the camera still recording, but I stepped away from the bowl in frustration because it really wasn't working. You can see now that the potatoes just are not done enough, and they're not mashing really. This could have been great for chunky mashed potatoes, which I love, but no. As I add the eggs, this is our point of no return, because the only thing I could have done to save the potatoes is cook them a little longer, but if I had tried anything resembling that after adding the eggs, it would have scrambled those egg yolks, and then it really would have been unsalvageable. Not that I was able to salvage this at all. The fact that this was so much footage to cut down is probably why I didn't film as much this month. Recording this voiceover is actually one of the last things I'm doing. You can see me still trying to make this work by continuing to add flour to this dough, which is the only other ingredient. However, there is not enough starch in the base mixture because it's trapped in all of the potatoes that are not mashed enough because they're not cooked. I mean, they're kind of cooked. It would have been very edible as boiled potatoes, but not to turn into dough. Couple times here you can see me stabbing the dough in frustration with that spoon. I transferred it onto a baking pan just because that pan would be much easier to clean than the countertop, and I thought doing some kneading by hand instead of with that spoon would be helpful, and it was not. We're gonna get time lapses of me folding laundry and making my bed and clearing my desk and all of those types of things. We'll see how far I actually get before dinner. Last thing for today, I was about to open this window, and I don't know the last time I opened this curtain, but then I saw the pots on the windowsill and I had completely forgotten that I owned succulents. Well, I guess owned, past tense, because those are so brittle and dead. But I cleaned my room and I made my bed, and you can see the top of my desk and my dresser and most of the floor, so I'd call that a success. I am house sitting this weekend for some neighbors that went back home for Thanksgiving, and I also worked 9 hours on Black Friday and 7 hours today, and with holiday hours that means I got back at midnight. Working Black Friday wasn't even as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I closed, and as the evening went on, we got slower and slower. We were open till midnight, and we did still have customers until like 11:45, 11:50, which is how closing normally goes. It's just normally not that late, and I don't understand anyone that's going to a department store at 11:30. Like, we had people coming in at 11. I'm also house sitting, and that part's easy. The only downside is that I'm having 2 of the busiest shifts of the year and then not getting to go home to my own bed. And I just have to like hang out with 2 dogs for my weekend. It's not that big a deal at all. Thanksgiving was really fun. I've got 3 little brothers, one of which, Sam, has been on here. Sam's the youngest, but one of them is a freshman in university right now, and he came home, and it was just really fun sitting around a table all together. If you had told any of the boys that they would be like best friends, they would have laughed at you, because they were not best friends up until like a year ago, maybe even sooner than that. Tomorrow is the last of this busy weekend, thankfully. I get to go back to my own room tomorrow, but before that, I am helping Mom with a chore errand. I don't know exactly how to describe it. She wears many hats and has a small business, and I am helping put some orders together, I suppose. And that's gonna be most of my late afternoon and evening. Tomorrow there is a Formula One race, and I can't watch it live because it happens while I am at church. And the fact that the Drivers' Championship has already been decided, and that it's the second to last race in the season makes it really unmotivating, honestly, which makes me really sad because it's like my favorite thing right now. But I don't know, like it's because I don't want it to be over that I don't want to watch the ending. And I do this with TV shows too. It's like I convince myself that if I never see the last race, then the season never ended. I'm lucky though, because my off season isn't as long as some other sports. We'll be back in March. And there are a lot of really fun rookies that I am excited to see come on. So I'm really looking forward to next season, but I don't want there to go that long without any races. I wish everyone had a happy Thanksgiving, and the next time you hear from me will be after the rest of the holidays, so happy holidays. It is late, so I am gonna go to bed.